Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Write this down.
It is a Write That Down Wednesday here.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
The only show in America that has the guts to put statistics next to our predictions. Write that down on Purple Daily. We also have the OG version that goes back like 10 years on Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd and the Score North YouTube channel. So be sure to check those out. We'll get to the accountabilities. We'll explain how this works. If you're new, feels like there's a lot of new listeners and viewers to Purple Daily here after a 3-0 start. So welcome aboard Daily Vikings Entertainment. Phil Mackey, Judd Zulgad, and Declan Goff. Let's shout out Pepsi here. This glorious 32-ounce. Look at this. Look at Jets smiling for the camera here. This is the brand new Pepsi 32-ounce Justin Jefferson souvenir cup available inside US Bank Stadium right now for home games and soon available at select locations outside US Bank Stadium. We will tell you more about that in the coming days. There's a QR code on the side of the cup, too, where you can enter to win Victor's Ride, a glorious Vikings-themed Polaris ATV, which Jason from Egan won last year. And they literally, the Vikings with Victor, a couple players, CJ Ham, they just drove it right up to his driveway in Egan. And they said, here you go. This is Victor's Ride. It's yours now. They're also giving away Pepsi, a solo pizza stove, and Vikings autographed merchandise as well. So get your souvenir cup, scan that QR code, and show us your cups. Tweet us if you get a hold of one of these things. Tweet me or X me at Phil Mackey, and we'll make sure that we get those out on social media. All right, boys, here's how this works. Write that down. Every single week, it's 3 Vikings or football-related predictions. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. And listeners, if you want to participate, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app like Corey is about to join as a guest listener predictor. But boys, how are we feeling here going into our week 4 accountability session?
I feel good about one prediction at least. Because
okay.
if I'm not mistaken, I had one prediction that I know was right. So, I mean, we'll wait and see. You know what?
Okay.
I feel like we live this weekly existence, right? Like, how are we feeling this week? It's a long season. So I try to take the big picture view. Like, what projections have I pushed down the road 3 months that could be right eventually and come off the board and help me prevail?
Which ones have you made maybe 3 years ago that are still on the board that could strike at any given time?
That's why I like to surprise myself.
Yeah. In fact, you've got some old school ones on here. You've got one that says Brian Flores. This is from 3 years ago. Brian Flores' lawsuit will be settled out of court at some point. It's still going on. I think based on the way he's coaching, that lawsuit might not matter, man. Some team might just say, all right, we'll give you a second crack at this thing if you can give us a top 5 defense.
It isn't. Yeah. That's such an interesting discussion, right? Because like the defense has been phenomenal. He's done a great job. The players love him. Does it matter that his former quarterback savaged him? Like, there's just a lot of moving parts here. But you know what? If he stays with the Vikings, we ain't going to complain.
No, we are certainly not going to.
We're going to say, write that man, give that man a blank check.
So let's get to the accountabilities here. We'll start with Judd. Pretty good week. We'll start with the bad. Ugh. You said Robert Tonyan will catch at least 1 touchdown in the first 2 games of the regular season.
Yeah, that's from the spring. Yep. I was wrong.
Johnny Munt has a touchdown.
Yeah, I should have said that.
The best 3rd-string tight end in the NFL playing with the ones. You said Jonathan Grenard will have 2 or more sacks against the Texans. Nice little touchdown pass there for Judd. He had 3.
Yeah.
And you said, I missed this one a couple weeks ago, but we're just cleaning some stuff up here. You said Stephon Diggs will catch at least 1 touchdown pass in the Texans opener against the Colts. He caught 2.
All right. I'll take that week.
Pretty good.
Feeling good about that week.
Pretty good. Not a bad week for old Macadac. We'll start with the bad. I said Jalen Naylor will have more receiving yards than Stephon Diggs in week 3. I should have said more touchdowns. Should have included that. I said the Vikings would not lose a fumble against the Texans. Great work by the Vikings holding on to that football. The ball is the program.
Yep. Feels like the first time in a while that they've not lost the ball in some way, shape, or form.
You know. And then I said one of these players, these fringe 53-man roster guys, would have a sack or a TFL before the Vikings bye week. Jalen Redmond, Levi Drake Rodriguez, or Taki Taimani. Jalen Redmond had a sack in that game. I think some garbage time.
Yeah.
Take that.
Still counts.
Okay, listeners, Jared said C.J. Stroud will throw for at least 270 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Vikings. No faith in that Vikings defense.
Not in our house.
Jason said KOC and Kwesi will be extended before week 1 of the 2024 season. I missed this one a couple weeks ago. Price is going up, as Judd's been saying on KOC. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not part of the salary cap structure, so it only really matters to the Wilfs, who probably have to pay him more money now than they would have 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
They can afford it. Kelly said Sam Darnold will start week 1, but he will lose his job by the end of week 3. No. But Jarrett came in here and said Colin Cowherd will have the Vikings in his herd hierarchy, his little power rankings, on at least 2 occasions this season. Well, week 2, they were like 9th, and they're 6th maybe, and now they're up to, I think, was it 2nd or 3rd?
They were third. And Nick Wright pointed out that the 3rd spot in the herd hierarchy the last 3 weeks has been a cursed spot.
No.
So he put the Rams to start the year. They have been just dismantled by injuries. He put the Eagles in week 2. They lost the next week. And he had the Chargers last week, and they lost to the Raiders. So Nick Wright, he said, for those exact reasons is why I'm taking the Packers, because Colin Cowherd has cursed the number 3 spot in the herd hierarchy ranking.
So a guaranteed Vikings curse here going into Lambeau. It's too bad. Such a great season until Colin Cowherd jinxed them. And then, Dex, kind of a mixed week. We'll start with the bad. You said the Vikings would beat the Texans by exactly 3. You said Stephen A. Smith would praise the Vikings on First Take the Monday after the Texans game. So from what I saw, the overarching tone of Stephen A. Smith's takes were still anti-Sam Darnold. And he was fighting Chris Carter on his podcast at one point.
That was really weird.
You said the Vikings would rush for at least $125 against the Texans. I think it was $119.
I don't know. Them's the breaks.
But you did say there'd be a New York Post article about Sam Darnold's performance with the Vikings at some point this season. And we all agreed that because they play both New York teams, that the article can't be written like the week before or after they play the New York teams, the Jets or the Giants. It has to be independent of that. And sure enough, a couple days ago, there was a column in the New York Post that said the Jets can learn some lessons from Sam Darnold's resurgence in Minnesota. Exactly the type of article that Declan was hunting for.
Well,
with this prediction.
I think we all thought that he was referring to the possible mocking of Sam after a bad start.
Technically, yes.
And instead, he is the one the Jets can learn from.
Is it, Judd? Is this a touchdown? I mean, the New York Post pumps a bazillion articles, so it's not super unlikely.
No, because it's like if he had nailed the topic,
the tone,
but no, I'd say no because the Post loves Sammy.
Yeah, they write a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
He's a New York figure. It's a chunk play.
It's a new
it's a nice play.
New set of downs. I'm good with it.
Oh yeah, no, it's in green, right?
So with that, Declan still with a pretty strong hold on the leaderboard here. 42.5% completions to Judd's 36.9. I'm at 32.9%. Listeners at 30.8%. Declan, Judd, listeners all tied with 7 touchdowns. Check down Macadac sitting at 2 touchdowns on the season so far.
Is the story. That's the story, though. The story of the PD write that down is Macadac's 2 touchdowns.
I don't disagree. I mean, it's really shameful.
You never are not only behind me, but by a lot.
I feel like usually I just bail on the accuracy and start hunting. Maybe that probably has to be my strategy at this point. Am I really going to make up 10 percentage points on Declan? Probably not. Could I make up 5 touchdowns on you guys by just throwing down the field? Absolutely.
Or are you just old and your arm shot?
Chad Pennington.
Yeah,
Don't
like
challenge me. This is
dinking and
whiteboard
dunking.
material for me right
You're
now.
dinking and dunking, Macadac. What's happened to Macadac, Declan?
This is whiteboard material. We'll be talking. It's like that. Was it that Bengals cornerback who was calling Cliff Kingsbury's offense with Jaden Daniels before the game, like a Mickey Mouse college offense?
What an idiot.
Yeah. How do you feel about that now? Jaden Daniels sticking a dagger in your neck. And then career stats: Declan 37% completions, Judd just over 35%. I'm just over 33%. Listeners 23%. Declan and I tied with 48 touchdowns. Listeners 46. Judd celebrating his 40th career touchdown pass. Nice job. So, all right, let's get Corey in here. We make it a rule that once a month we need someone on the show who looks like a Viking. And so here he is. Corey, what's going on, man? Welcome to Write That Down.
Not much. Running from hurricanes.
Yeah, so what I jumped on, I'm having some computer things here, so I missed it off microphone. So where are you staying, and what hurricane, what region are you in dodging the hurricane?
We're from Central Florida. We're not really dodging it. We were just going for a vacation. It just happened to be at the same time. We would ride it out no matter what because Floridians, that's what we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're in Daytona right now, enjoying the beach.
Right on, man. So what's your background as a Vikings fan? How'd you become a fan of this team?
So when I was young, I just really didn't have a fan. I wasn't a fan of any team. I just loved football. So I watched Mike Vick my whole life. And then all of a sudden there was this guy named Adrian Peterson coming up the ranks from Oklahoma. And I was watching him. And then I was like, oh, this guy's going to be awesome. Watched him go to the Vikings. And I was rooting for him there. And then the second that they drafted Dalvin Cook, I knew it was the real deal. I was like, oh, my favorite player, my favorite position, no matter what. The Vikings, man.
Yeah, they've always had, once in a while they'll give you like a Matt Asiata year, but they always have some sort of top 5 running back. Like Robert Smith, obviously way back with Chuck Foreman.
I mean, I even love Chester Taylor. Chester Taylor was a man too.
Underrated.
Yeah, for real.
Absolutely.
A jack of all trades. He could do pretty much anything. So,
Write this down.
All right, Corey, we're going to start with you. Over to Judd, Declan, back to me. 3 trips around the room. We each make 1 prediction per lap. They must be football, show-related of some kind, and quantifiable. Those are pretty much the only rules. So,
Write this
Gotcha.
down.
fire away, man.
All right. So the first one, it's going to be a headphone taker offer for Judd and Mackie.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to
All
mute
right.
and then take it off.
The mute has nothing to do with, and you didn't mute that's okay. He can't hear it.
All right. Everybody ready for it? All
You're
silent.
good.
All right. So Mackie or Judd, either or, will have 1 prediction about Will Reichard and his perfect season so far.
Okay. And in this episode too, by the way, I take it.
Yeah, this episode.
This episode? Okay. All right. You guys are good. Come back in.
All right. I'm back.
All right, let's see.
Okay.
Let's see.
Is it going to happen right now?
I don't know.
It could happen at any moment.
Any minute.
It could strike. It could come
Anything
off
we
the board.
say, like this right now, could be it. It could happen if I say happen for a second time in 30 seconds.
Write this down.
All right, Judd, what's your first prediction?
All right, I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid right off and start to make my predictions for Friday on Wednesday. The Vikings will beat the Packers on Sunday.
For Friday?
The Friday football picks.
Well-
I'm sorry, Saturday football picks, whatever. We recorded on Friday. We're not trying to hide that. The Saturday football picks.
So what's the prediction?
The Vikings will, the Vikings will
when
beat
is
the
it
Packers.
happening?
The
Okay,
Vikings will beat the Packers on Sunday.
Vikings will beat the
I
Packers.
didn't make the prediction for Write That Down last week.
Judd's
I
been
should
playing
have.
Madden.
What's that?
He's been playing some Madden. He beat the Packers already with his own hands.
They got no chance against it. Yeah, exactly right.
I think what happened there is my wife and I joke about this because I am flawless and never do anything wrong to make fun of. But one of probably my wife's only flaw, clearly, is she'll have a thought fully thought out in her head, but when she says it, it's like she only says like the last 25% of what she's been thinking. So that's what Judd just did, or he's like, I'm gonna predict it before Friday, but like the audience didn't know what you were talking about, and that's what.
Right, that's why I said.
So
the
Phil,
Vikings
I think we should. Do you think we should do that and go? Do what and go where?
Go where?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's why I said I'm going to predict it, but then I followed up with the Vikings will beat the Packers because that's going to be my prediction for the recorded Friday airs on.
And you got that out there. It's
is
just
released.
You like ran all over the field before throwing the ball, and I was more focused on you running all over the field.
Got to follow closely.
Write this down.
All right, Dex's first prediction.
All right, I think some listeners might have this too in the bank, but I want to get in on the party too. Write this down. Aaron Jones scores a touchdown and does a Lambeau Leap on Sunday.
Love it.
I think some listeners have made this prediction as well. That's saved in there. I want to be in that party as well. So Aaron Jones scores a touchdown on Sunday, and he attempts. Excuse me. I want this in very clear lettering. Attempts a Lambeau Leap because I had that written down. Attempts.
Okay, because he could get rejected.
He might get put. He will leave his feet.
He won't get pushed out.
And we'll see if he gets caught.
Extra points if he gets a beer poured on him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I kind of want. That's kind of what I want to do.
Write this down.
He got a beer poured on him.
7, right?
Yeah, because he jumped right into Packers fans.
Yeah. I've never seen. I have never watched a game live where I've seen a guy get pushed out.
Yeah, and usually you go hunting for like the 3 Vikings fans that bought the front row tickets or something.
Packer fans love this dude. So
they do, but they also get I think they're really insecure because what's happened in the last 20 years, the Packers have cut bait on players a year or two. I get what they're trying to do. They don't want to get caught on the wrong side of the age curve, but they've allowed the Vikings access to some really good players that still have juice left. I mean, Darren Sharper, who's now in prison. Brett Favre had juice left. Ryan Longwell had a lot of juice left. And there's Aaron Jones. There's more guys, too. Yeah.
Jennings.
Greg, and he actually did have some juice left.
Yeah, he had some juice left. Unfortunately, he picked the wrong quarterback to join his team.
Yeah. Okay.
Write this down.
I think I am just going to go for touchdowns at this point. You know, we got a few months left in the season. Declan's got a commanding completion percentage lead. So I'll one up and I'll say Aaron Jones scores multiple touchdowns in this game. Also, can I go like this? Multiple touchdowns or 140 plus rushing yards.
Okay.
Is that still a touchdown?
Yes.
140 plus.
It's either 140 plus rushing yards and or 2 plus touchdowns.
Rushing yards.
Rushing
yards. That's a huge day.
Yeah. I'm going to watch him go for like 70 receiving yards, 90 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, and I get screwed on this.
I thought you were going after total yards at first.
I want to make sure it's a touchdown. So we'll keep it at $1.40.
Write this
Fair
down.
enough.
All right, back to Corey.
All right. Let's see. All right. So my next prediction is for another rushing touchdown. I will predict Sam Darnold's first rushing touchdown of the year.
Oh.
On the bad knee.
Sneaking Sammy?
Yep.
From slinging Sammy to sneaking Sammy.
They said he's fine. He has a little bruise. He'll be fine. So they'll take it in. 5 yards deep, probably.
Joe.
Oh, you think it'll be from like it won't be just a tush push situation? It'll be.
It could be.
Jones will push him.
I like 5 yard, but it could very well be tush push. It just a rushing touchdown. That's my prediction. But in my head, I like a 5 yard run.
Nice.
Okay.
Write this down.
Back to Judley.
Slinging Sammy will continue his streak of passer ratings that exceed 100. So he will have, again, I believe the first 3 games, his rating has been more than 100. It will be 100 or more again on Sunday.
All righty.
Write this down.
Back to Dex.
All right, write this down. I'll go with this one. The Vikings score on their opening offensive drive, or they force a pick 6 or scoop and score on defense.
At some point in the game?
No. Opening. So opening. So if the Packers start with the ball and the Vikings get a pick 6 or a scoop and store. Opening. I want to be very specific here.
Yep.
I want to be very specific here. I want a nice big touchdown throw. So either
AVG.
the offense scores on their first drive,
Your guy.
or
sure.
Andrew Van Ginkel jumps the snap or something.
The gangster.
And or a scoop and
hair.
score. Maybe you punch that ball out, you run it in. Could see that happening too. So first drives, I don't want to miss out on that one if that happens. So write it down.
Okay. Yeah, this is.
Write this down.
You guys are already chanting his name here, but man, nobody exemplifies Midwest football like Andrew Van Ginkel. Think about his life in football. He's from Rock Valley, Iowa. He played high school football in the heart of Iowa. He plays college football at 3 different places. So Iowa over to South Dakota, and then Iowa Western for a minute, back to Iowa. Then becomes a Badger. Spends a little time in Miami. All right, just nice. Go get your tan on like Corey's doing right now down in Florida. And then over to the Vikings. So this dude has had football roots. He just needs North Dakota at some point. I don't know how we make that happen. There's no pro football team there, but Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota. So here's my prediction. Write this down. He is going to put on a show at Lambeau Field. Andrew Van Ginkel will account for at least 2 sacks and some kind of a forced fumble, recovered fumble. He'll be involved in a turnover, I guess, or a forced fumble. So at least 2 sacks, and he'll be involved in a turnover of some kind. He'll either intercept a pass, tip a ball that gets picked, force a fumble, and I'm gonna put a forced fumble in there as well, even if it's not a turnover. So I don't know. That's a lot of moving parts, but I think if those things happen, that would be quantified as a touchdown.
Write this down.
The Gangster.
The Gank.
All right, back to Corey for his third and final prediction.
All right, so write this down. I think that the Vikings, the Lynx, the Minnesota Lynx, and the Minnesota Timberwolves will all make their prospective conference championships this upcoming season. So the Lynx in a couple weeks, the Vikings this upcoming season, and then Anthony Edwards is going to put on a show for everybody.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're going to everybody's going to at least make the conference championship out of those 3 teams.
Let's go, man.
Wow.
The positivity is just flowing right now.
It's the hair, I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Corey Van Ginkel here making his appearance.
Samson-like hair, man. Gives you strength for predictions.
We need to put a fan in front of him while he makes these predictions. Yeah.
Oh, go Fabio. That's a great idea.
So, well, Corey,
outside.
since you've go outside with your phone. So since you've got this life-changing platform right now on Purple Daily, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped you get to this peak moment?
My family, my son for following in my footsteps. But he's a big Vikings fan. He comes running out every time he hears me cheer. So comes running out. And he tried running in at the very beginning of the show here. Started getting upset because he couldn't be on TV. But also you guys, thank you for all that you guys do, keeping me updated during the off season. And my wife for keeping the kids out of my hair for a couple minutes.
Love it, man.
Awesome.
Corey, great job on your predictions.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the crazy weather that's happening in Florida here, and we'll see you again sometime, man.
Yes, sir. Have a good rest of your day.
Corey Van Ginkel. Corey Hawkinson joining Purple Daily here.
Great mop right there.
Joe, what needs to happen for you to grow your hair out for as long as possible?
How long would that take, do you think?
Years.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just saying, when do you think he started that?
I think he's leaving. I would say we could bring him back in here, but actually, are you still there? Can you hear us, Corey?
Still there.
Yes, I can.
When did you start growing your hair?
So I got out of the military when I was 19. No, 20. I was 20. So I'm 28 now. 8 years.
So you've been growing it for 8 years.
8 years, and then a trim here and there just to keep the dead stuff off. But yeah.
I never thought of that.
Okay. Yeah, I think we might have to map out a plan here for Judd. Maybe
yeah. Oh, no,
like an 8-year plan.
Dead in 8 years.
I don't think so, dude.
Out of here.
You never know. A lot goes wrong.
No.
Young and spry.
A lot can go wrong, Corey.
Amazing. Well, Corey, we'll connect with you on a plan to grow Judd's hair out for the next 8 years. Appreciate you sharing your hair care advice. And Judd, then you can be sitting on your ugly deck that's not ugly anymore with the hair blowing in your wind. Yep. Thanks to our friends at Ugly Deck. Be very, very exciting.
Yep, exactly. Well, and you know what? Fall is upon us, and it's a great time of year to sit out on your deck, enjoy the weather, perhaps have a beverage, a TV, watching some football. Book a free deck estimate this month and get 3 footings included from Ugly Deck. Just need a deck tweak, get up to $1,000 off installation, or a DIY deck package for the DIYer. Ugly Deck can install your footings and ledger and save you from the mess and frustration on the hardest part of building a deck. Half all Ugly Deck customers have never framed a deck before, but with a free coach and their DIY Video Academy, you can do it. If you want the top carpenters in maintenance-free decks to build your entire deck, they build year-round, so book a free estimate for a new deck this year. Go to uglydeck.com to book that free estimate. That's uglydeck.com, so you'll be sitting on a beautiful deck.
Hey, KS Drywall is here as a big supporter of Purple Daily as well, and they're here to help you with any sort of full drywall project, plaster repair, popcorn ceiling texture removal, interior painting services as well. There's a QR code on the YouTube channel here if you want to find out more about the work that KS Drywall does. They serve the greater Twin Cities Metro and western Wisconsin, Van Ginkel territory, as we call it. The crew will they will do anything. Anything from new construction to small emergency repairs. No job is too big or too small for KS Drywall. Head over to ksdrywall.com to schedule a free estimate, and you can find them too on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then before we make our final predictions and get to a quarterback cesspool challenge, Federated Mutual Insurance Company has been a great supporter of ours and of countless businesses over the past, 100 plus years, because they were founded in 1904 in Owatonna, Minnesota. And it's like having a great offensive line for your business. Federated Insurance specializes in safety, protection, and preventing claims. And they're here to help you. Find out more at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours.
Write this down.
Okay. Judd, your final prediction.
All right, 2 more games for the Vikings before their bye week, but I'm not so sure the bye week's going to be completely quiet. I mean, things are going well. Things are going very well, so write this down. Kevin O'Connell's contract extension will be announced before the Vikings return from their bye week. So their first game back is October 20th against the Lions. I think we're going to get news of a KOC extension before that. Could happen tomorrow. Could happen Saturday. Also, could happen during the bye week.
Write it down. Okay. So he'll get some
Write this down.
long-term security. We'll see if Kwesi gets a deal at some point.
I almost had the same prediction, just a little bit of a different timeline. I'll stick with it. KOC will get a contract extension, though, between now and November 1st. I think it might take a little longer. That was what I had written down. So I'll stick with that. KOC does get a contract extension, but between now and November 1st might take a little extra couple weeks.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely deserves one, and I don't know.
Write this down.
I don't know how that works. How much do the highest paid coaches in the NFL make right now? Is there like a public list out there somewhere?
No, there's nothing public. It's all speculative. Coaches' salaries are very hush-hush.
Yeah, there is a front office sports article from June that they've got a bunch of reporting on this.
Yeah.
So they're kind of estimating like total compensation with bonuses and stuff.
Right.
Andy Reid apparently now makes $25 million a year. 25? He makes more than like a starting tackle, or he makes like $10 million more than, well, what does Grenard make? Like $20 million? I'm looking at like Matt LaFleur is sitting at $6 million reportedly.
Yeah, I think O'Connell's sitting at something. Is it? I found a speculative like ballpark for him, 6 to 7, something like that.
Yeah, he's not on this particular list, but it's only, they have like 20 guys on this list. So Dennis Allen makes 3.5. Stefanski makes 3.5. So yeah, it's gonna be.
Stefanski's at 3.5. That's pretty low. I'm
according to this.
That.
Yeah, Dan Campbell, $4.5 million.
Poor Dan
Campbell.
Dan Campbell had to move his family.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Because his daughter's classmate leaked their address, and after they lost to the Niners, a bunch of people were showing up at the Campbell household.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
That's kind of terrifying.
Write this down.
Okay, write this down. Maybe I'm just drinking too much Kool-Aid. I got Aaron Jones scoring a bunch of touchdowns and Andrew Van Ginkel. We don't yet know who the Packers are going to start at quarterback. Malik Willis has been phenomenal, but Jordan Love is pushing to get back here. I'm here to tell you, write this down. It's not going to matter who starts at quarterback for the Packers. I'm going to give you a Packers quarterback parlay. Whoever starts at quarterback for the Packers, or, yeah, we'll just leave it at this. Whoever starts at quarterback for the Packers will throw for less than 200 yards, will throw for, I will say, will turn the ball over at least twice in this game, and will be sacked at least 3 times. So less than 200 yards, 2 turnovers or more, and will take at least 3 sacks in this game. Good luck. Good luck at the line of scrimmage, especially Malik Willis. It's been great. You've schemed it up the last couple weeks. You're not playing the Titans.
LaFleur, this will be fun against Flores.
It will be. The Packers are doing. LaFleur does a brilliant job of just creating play action motion over one way.
He's abandoned his principles. Like he's done what KO sort of had to do with Dobbs.
Yeah, but in the last game they kind of mixed in more of their like original principles with a lot of
same thing.
Matt LaFleur is a brilliant play caller, but one quick thing on this, and we'll get to quarterback cesspool challenge. So if you're the Titans, and it wasn't like you took Will Levis 3rd overall, right? Will Levis wound up being a second round pick?
Oh.
Yeah, he fell right out.
And so you weren't necessarily 100,000% sold on Will Levis, and you thought so little of Malik Willis that you just bailed on him before the end of his rookie scale contract.
Yep.
Because apparently you just don't think he can play. We're the Titans, and we know what we're looking at apparently with quarterbacks.
Right.
The Packers come in with an actual top-notch creative head coach, offensive-minded, and say, oh, yeah, he can absolutely play, and we can put him into a game like 2 weeks after he arrived on campus, and he can look like that. What a bad look for the Titans that Malik Willis looks like this after 2 weeks with his new team.
It's an especially atrocious look because they hired Brian Callahan, who was Zach Taylor's OC with the Bengals. So like he's the one that must have said, I don't think that this guy can play. And so like that's the look. Like if this had been a defensive guy, it'd be a bad look, but you'd be like, well, yeah, it's a defensive guy. He had no idea what he was trying to get through or see there. But this is an offensive guy who comes in and immediately jettisons Willis to a guy who, by the way, as far as I know, Zach Taylor was a Rams assistant, and LaFleur comes from, again, that same tree. So, like, you literally sent Malik Willis to a similar offensive-minded situation because you said he couldn't play, and now LaFleur, to his credit, is at least getting, decent production, good production from him. So,
yeah, and
it's a terrible look.
And some of the throws he was making, too, there was a fade, like a 35, 40-yard fade down the right side. Just bang, he puts it right in the bucket.
Right.
I'm not saying if you were to play it out with him as the starter that he would be a consensus top 10 quarterback, but the Titans essentially cast him aside like, this dude's not even rosterable. And the Packers pick him up and say, yes, he is. So they're just immediately proven wrong after 2 weeks, the Titans.
And that's what makes Callahan and Titans look so bad now, though, is so he's basically going to every press conference, right? Post game, Will Levis did this wrong, he did that wrong. It's like, dude, this is your job to like maximize these guys.
Yeah.
Like it's not your job to come in and say they're not doing what I want. So no, you're either going to get that from them or you're not going to last yourself.
If you're the Vikings, if you're Flores, I think I'd rather face an 80% healthy Jordan Love, less mobile, a little bit rusty maybe, than Malik Willis, fully capable of busting off a 40-yard run, mobility.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I'd rather face less than 100% Jordan Love in this game. It sounds kind of crazy that after 2 weeks, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather get Malik Willis out of there than in there. But that's where I stand right now.
Jordan Love probably, if he plays, which I don't think he probably will, but if he does, probably can't run, right?
Not like Malik Willis, no.
And with your looks, he is potentially, unless he has one of the best mental games of all time, a sitting duck. The X factor to me from the Green Bay offensive standpoint is Jacobs, because the Texans didn't have Mixon or his backup. Cam Akers, God bless him, tries. But like, my question is, does Jacobs, what can he do, and what can that offensive line do? I don't know that you're going to beat the Vikings passing right now. I do think that you could run the ball down their throat, and I don't think that we have seen a team effectively do that yet.
I agree. Yeah, no one has really tried.
San Fran did a bit, but that was
they did
also
run for over
here,
100 yards.
But that was also here, so it'll be interesting. Hell of a game.
So those are the write that down predictions. Let's get to our quarterback cesspool challenge here.
Green 18! Green 18!
A weekly celebration of bad quarterback play in the National Football League. So we'll get to the updates from last week and our official picks. But here's how it works. Each member of the show picks a quarterback that he thinks will be bad this upcoming week. Each member of the show can only use a quarterback once per season. So it's like a survivor pool. Once you use Will Levis or whoever, that is a wrap on that pick for you. And we all must draft different quarterbacks every week. The scoring is very simple. It's whichever quarterback has the lowest QBR for that particular week. So let's get to last week's results. Judd with old Kirky boy. He didn't play terribly just with the eye test, but he had the lowest QBR of any of the three that we had.
It's finicky, man. It can be finicky.
Yeah, it's sometimes you might think, oh, a guy put up good numbers, but then when you dig beneath the surface, it wasn't as efficient as you thought, or other guys deserve credit. So Kirk Cousins with a 31 QBR out of a 0 to 100 scale. He was the lowest, so Judd gets his first weekly win of the season. I picked Caleb Williams last week, a 36.1 QBR. I think he improved that during garbage time. And then, Declan, you took a shot at Bo Nix. And, man, that's one of the best QBRs he's probably going to put up all year, 80.8.
Yep.
So, by the way, Skylar Thompson for Miami had the worst QBR in the entire league in Week 3, 8.1 for old Skylar Thompson. So all three of us have one weekly win through the first 3 weeks. In terms of season average QBR, I lead 42.6. Judd in second place, 48.3.
Thank you, Kirk.
Declan, 58.2. Declan, the reigning, defending 2023
You guys all rip
quarterback
Kirk.
cesspool.
You guys all rip Kirk, and all I've said is he always contributes to the Zolgadian way.
Well, he did help you win here.
I know, I'm a big fan.
And yeah, man, that division's going to be gettable all season, I think, but it would be a major buzzkill for Atlanta if they can't get to 9 or 10 wins and win that division. It's just
Vikings.
Yeah. I know it's got some 2018 Vikings vibes to it.
Well put, Declan.
So we'll go in reverse order of last week's results, which means that Dex gets the first overall pick, I get the second overall pick, and then Judd, you get the third overall pick.
Okay, I have a couple good options here for the number one spot. One that I think is obvious, and another that I just want to continue riding with his terrible play lately, and someone who I'm not surprised is not off to a great start. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence. When the Jags have been reeling, I did not buy into the Jags. Lawrence, as he says, his offense sucks right now. They got embarrassed on Monday Night Football. I'm going to continue to ride that train. So give me Trevor Lawrence, who are playing in Houston this weekend. Texans are 6.5-point favorites. Like that Texans defense for D'Amico Ryans, even though Sam Darnold lit him up. It's not Sam Darnold going against him. It's Trevor Lawrence. So I'll take Trevor Lawrence this week.
Boy, I think with the owner coming out in Jacksonville before the season saying this is the best team we've ever had since I've owned the franchise, it's time to put some wins on paper. And yeah, old Doug Peterson might be not good. Might be on the hot seat.
Not good at all.
Okay, I get the second pick. So many options here. So I've already used Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, and Caleb Williams. I think I'm going to go Gardner Minshew against the Browns. Now, he got replaced in their last game by Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah.
So if we do have a situation where like Aiden O'Connell starts, then the rule is I would get Aiden O'Connell because I haven't used him yet. So I've got kind of the built-in handcuff there. I'm going to go Gardner Minshew against that Browns defensive front. Give me the stash. Give me the man who lives in a van down by the river, Gardner Minshew.
Everybody hold your water.
I've been trying to.
You've used Bo Nix, Malik Willis, and Kirk Cousins already.
Thank you. I forgot about week one. I texted you this morning and said, "Did I use Bo Nix week one?" Because I wrote down my last two. I forgot to write down week one. And Bo Nix.
Judd texted me twice this morning. Once, can I get the
random
twin of the week list?
Well, that was
and then
sincere.
can I get my quarterback cesspool challenge list?
I should have.
I would say back to you, you could take your own notes and have your own list. I'm happy to give them to you, but
I was going to say the random twin you both keep, and I don't, so I don't think that I'm going to start the quarterback cesspool
It's a
challenge.
document that I've been adding to for
right. I know,
weeks.
but I mean, you're the guy.
Well, you're the guy for it. Like you
look
have to
stuff
do
up. I mean, you do a great job with that. You look everything up for the show. I should have sent you the note. Did I use Bo Nix week one? Declan, can you look that up for me?
Judd, you've got 80,000 notebooks at your disposal.
That's
You've
the problem
saved
is I
notebooks
lose
from 30 years ago.
I know, but
Can't
I
you have
lose,
a quarterback
but
cesspool notebook?
But I write them down on pieces of paper, and then sometimes I toss the notebook. Sometimes I put the notebook in a different place, and I forget where it is. Look, it's not easy being me, okay? Boy, I'm going to try and ride the wave here since I got a win. And I think this guy just might be pretty damn hopeless. So I'm going to dive into the same pool as Phil is right now. The pool in Las Vegas, little Caesar's Palace, the Sands, perhaps.
That's right. That's right. That's where Dex was doing his drunk. Write that down. Prediction
Sands.
from the Caesar's Palace pool.
The Sands.
When did they nuke the Sands? Like, let's see.
Oh, probably years ago. But the Sands
I don't
was
even know
great.
what that is.
Oh, the Sands.
1996. Yeah.
Famous.
Didn't it become the
Las
Venetian?
Vegas, it might have. It might have. But anyway, long story short, I'm going to Sean Watson. I'm going to Sean Watson. Cleveland v. Raiders.
Declan, you never heard of the Sands? Sinatra
No.
at the Sands?
No,
The Rat Pack at the Sands?
But my first ever trip to Vegas was a year ago. So like when I went 2 months ago, that was just my second ever trip to
but
Vegas.
just like history,
Still,
like,
yeah.
you know.
Declan
Jerry Lewis, the Rat Pack,
I mean,
Sinatra,
I know those artists. I just never heard
Right.
of the
You know-
Sands.
For an old soul, you've got some really weird blind spots.
Yes.
Like Lombardozzi.
Lombardozzi
When you're like,
and
I
the
have no
Sands.
idea who Steve Lombardozzi is. You were like, in some ways, a Twins historian, but you didn't know the second baseman on the World Series team.
But
Like,
I can
that's a
tell you an
weird blind
immaculate
spot.
grid of, Twins. Oh, by
Right.
the way, the Twins were on the grid yesterday, so we could maybe do
We
that.
can do that
but
tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
I could, but I can name you Twins Pirates combinations, and I can tell you Danny
I know.
Valencia's every team in the American League. But I
And
don't
you know some
know the
stuff from your
Sands.
dad, like
Yes.
there are Twins things. It's not like you're oblivious to like the '80s Twins completely, but when I mentioned or when we did the random twin on Lambeau, I might as well have said some name that I made up because you were like, I have no idea who that is. I'm like Lombardozzi. Phil's like, yeah, Lombardozzi.
Yeah. I know Declan knows what Park Tavern is. Park Tavern
I love my Park Tavern
for your
The
football
wings.
viewing, right in the backyard of the.
I kind of want a
Sports Dad.
menu.
Stole
What's that,
that
boys?
menu.
Get me a
What's
menu.
that?
I want one.
Of course I will. Of course. Oh, you're talking about
This is your
Park
play. It's like
Tavern.
your play chart, Judd.
Exactly right. Located in St. Louis Park at the corner of Highway 7 and Louisiana Avenue South. Park Tavern is all about friends, family, and fun. It's all about sports, bowling, a great place to host a party for, heck, your family or your company. Park Tavern, 40 plus years of being in the SLP community. They're all about community, and they want to see you back. And may I interest you in the breakfast side of things, because who doesn't love a good breakfast? Let's see here. Classic Eggs Benedict, breakfast burrito.
Got a
How
French
about-
toast on there.
Let's see here.
Love
do
me some
French
French
toast?
toast.
Breakfast
it's my
pizza?
QB1 of breakfast.
Breakfast pizza. Biscuits and gravy.
Talk dirty.
How about this, boys? The famous eye opener, which comes with a screwdriver, a domestic pint, a bloody, or a mimosa. That's right. Park Tavern is the perfect way to start your day. It's also the perfect place to watch the Vikings in the main bar on Sundays. Again, Park Tavern, they want to see you back, located Highway 7, Louisiana Avenue South in SLP right here. In fact, you might see the Sports Dad like you did on Friday sitting at the bar enjoying a drink at Park Tavern.
All right. Write that down Wednesday, quarterback cesspool challenge. We will have a bonus episode either today or tomorrow. Judd's going to be out at practice and press conferences, so we'll have some Judd's practice notes. We've got Thor's Day tomorrow. Thor was already texting us some reckless speculation topics for tomorrow.
Awesome.
He's so on point.
Some trade stuff.
He's so on point.
Feedback Friday.
And we can so O'Connell is doing his press conference midweek one today. We could talk about this tomorrow, but the Vikings will not be practicing today, which is ordinarily a big practice day. They'll be doing a walkthrough. Interesting. My guess is that this is a nod to, if we're going to play as physical as I want you to, I'm going to rest you as well.
Okay.
Because it can't be.
He's not getting soft on him after a 3-0 start, is he?
Well, but that's what I'm saying. We're going to ask these questions. These are the questions that have to be. This is why I'm going to get in the hopefully fine car, because during training camp it was a mess. The Zolgad Mobile. I'm going to go to Egan and I'm going to get the answers of, why are you pulling back? But I think it's probably a smart move. 18 weeks, you probably can't go. So I will say this. Turning a Wednesday practice into a walkthrough in week 4, I think highly unusual. It
is very unusual. Yeah, because usually you go hard Wednesday, pretty hard Thursday, and then Friday is very much, and I'm guessing Friday will be a walkthrough, so maybe Thursday is the only big time practice day.
Friday's a mild practice. Saturday's a walkthrough, but I mean, there's something happening here right now, folks.
Oh, and the sports dad will be on the scene asking the questions.
Get away. Go.
That's a wrap. Purple Daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.